Here we go.
We're not going somewhere. We are somewhere.
This webinar is being live streamed. All right, let's do this. Okay, big day today in many ways, but first real good news for housing in what feels like about 6 to 9 months.
For sure. I know you're not talking about the election, but my God, is it good to have that in the rearview mirror
Yep.
so that we can look forward now. Um, the first break in inflation numbers in months. We've been
Yeah.
waiting for it, and doesn't mean the tide has changed entirely. But boy, we finally got some fresh air, a breath of fresh air, or a little bit of wind behind our sails instead of going into it. Good news.
I'll get some updated information out to folks, but 30-year mortgage 7.2 down to like 6.6. So that's over half of a point drop in one day. That's crazy. Again, massive extremes up and down right now. But let's talk about the mortgage broker space and what they've been able to accomplish here over the course of this year, which is something that's never happened before.
Yeah, I mean, the big change was United Wholesale Mortgage, who we've worked with for quite a while now. They became the nation's largest lender, and they stepped ahead of Rocket Mortgage for the first time. And it's a big deal for United Wholesale because of their growth path. It also speaks volumes for the broker channel versus the mortgage banker or the bank space.
Okay, so United Wholesale Mortgage just works with mortgage brokers. So you have to be a broker to originate and send a loan to them. Rocket, for example, does both retail and wholesale. And those two have been neck and neck now for quite some time, and they were finally able to overtake them. Why do you think that's happened? This is at the end of the Q3, folks. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that the reason why that has happened is that when you get into a marketplace that is challenging, the interaction with the loan officer or the expertise or their experiences mean a lot more, and there's more interaction required. So it's not just like going and clicking buttons online and making more formal mortgage application. So I think in this time, consumers have gravitated to relying not only on a great rate and a great process, but some of the expertise that maybe the lending professional has to add to it.
I love it.
I think that's the difference, or it makes sense where that shift finally took place.
So Rocket Mortgage was about 83% refinance transactions in 2021. And those transactions are very clickable and upload docs, click, grab your rate, drop from 4 to 3, 3 to 2, whatever it is. Easy transactions don't require a lot of institutional knowledge of housing and real estate or a lot of interaction with real estate professionals.
There's one more part that I think adds to this shift, or where UWM may have jumped ahead there. And that is that the broker space for the almost entirely has always been able to provide a better rate and fee combination for the consumer. So when we're in an increasing interest rate environment, people start to look at that or scrutinize it a lot more seriously. If we're talking about rates that are 3 and 3.25, that was such an improvement for folks. It's like, hey, forget it. But when you get to 7 or 7.25, and now 0.25% or $6,000 in closing fees, that's where the mortgage space can really start to gain some traction, maybe in that environment as well. So those are the two factors that come to my mind.
Okay, so that broker space, you and I have been sitting in, this is year 15 for us this month. So it's contracted all the way down to about 8% of total transactions. And now what they're saying is at the end of Q3, it was upwards of 27% were going through the mortgage broker space. That space is, again, gaining market share right now. because of the relationships that folks like you and I have with the real estate community. And it's not highly dependent on refis right now because they're gone.
Yeah, there aren't any. Right.
Zero zip, nada. I think it was 87% decline this week. Just not being done. So we get to Q4, we get to Q1 next year. We expect or anticipate a lot of purchase mortgage transactions. We don't expect a lot of refinance transactions. So guys like you and me, or the experienced guys, are kind of sitting in the catbird seat right now, just watching what's going on. And we're able to dial into these different wholesale lenders and save you a lot of money on rates and fees.
It's well said. This software program that we have, it gives us all 10 of the lenders that we work with, and it shows who has the best interest rates. And it certainly makes it easy for us to feel confident, because you do get some volatility with the lenders, right? You have management decisions for a period of time. You have supply and demand within their company where they adjust their pricing depending on what's going on in their world. So at least we get to see 10 of them all at one time to find out maybe really where the sweet spot is for folks. And like you said, we got some good news today. The vast majority of almost all of our transactions are going to be purchase oriented. We just need more good news to take place to allow people to feel a little bit more confident about proceeding with a purchasing of a home when the timing's right for them. Because like you said, for the last 3 months specifically, when we chat with people, there's about 8 reasons that come up of why they just want to hold off for a second. The anxiety, or, oh my God, I don't want to make a bad decision. Well, if we get some more good news and just allow folks to settle down, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, speaking of settle down, we don't have any of that going on because of the mass layoffs taking place. Freedom yesterday laid off 1,000 people. So there's still a ton of layoffs that are going to work their way through the system. And now more than ever, it's important that you work with somebody who's experienced and knows how to navigate the ins and outs of the lending world right now, just because it's kind of a mess behind the scenes operationally. So you got to have somebody going to bat for you. You don't want to get on with the headset person and hope that everything's going to go your way.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit before. Get some of the experience that person has. Try to figure out if they're selling you their flavor of the month, or they're really trying to give you options that are what's best for you to consider when making that decision. I know a lot of the conversations I'm having recently, it's like, hey, let me give you both sides. I'll tell you exactly what I'm thinking of, what's favorable to do something now, what's maybe not favorable, and then you make your decision and go from there, as opposed to pitching hey, management says this is the greatest loan program ever, you should really do it.
I love it. Those of you checking in, subscribe our stuff. We try to put out a live once a week on Thursday, and we're always adding different topics, different videos, talking about different loan programs that we think will help you out there. But Ken, great job. I appreciate it. And have a great weekend.
All right, everybody. Take care.
See ya.